Hey guys, and welcome back to StarKid Sleepover Saturdays. I want to preface this episode, which is about StarKid's musical Me and My Dick. I just want to let you guys know that it will be a little bit more mature content, just based on the subject matter. There's going to be more adult themes, there probably is going to be some more swearing, and let's just rate this podcast episode rated R. It'll probably not be that bad, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. So...
Yay, disclaimers!
Yay!
Disclaimers!
Don't get mad at me. If you are young, please go away. We love you, but please, I don't want to be talking about this.
Tune in next week, please.
Or, you don't have to go away if you've already seen Me and My Dick. Just don't listen to this in front of parents, grandparents.
Or listen to it with your parents.
Yeah, that could be a learning moment.
That could be your birthday.
I'm in no position to teach anybody anything.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Listener discretion is advised. Alright, so Me and My Dick was a musical production. Am I just gonna read the synopsis?
Don't do the whole thing.
So, it was performed by Team StarKid for their Basement Arts program, I believe?
Yes.
Yes, and it stars a high school loser who is named Joey Richter, and all of the wacky misadventures he goes through with his sentient, is that the right word?
Yes.
Sentient penis.
Yeah.
Played by Joe Walker.
His name was Dick.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So it stars Joey and Dick and the trials and tribulations they go through as they're trying to struggle with their identity and their status with their virginity, and the girl that Joey really likes, which is Vanessa, played by Allie Gordon, as well as dealing with his neighbor and childhood best friend Sally, which is played by Jamie Lynn Beatty. Mm-hmm. So, this is a very, polarizing musical? People either really, from what I've seen, people either really love it or they can hardly stomach it just because it's very ridiculous and it is very...
raunchy.
It's off.
Yeah. But...
it's just a very adult... well, I mean...
it's very college humor.
Yes.
Yes.
Extremely.
Mm-hmm. Like, there's songs dedicated to the flights of vaginas and...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Land of the Dicks.
Land of the Dicks.
So, I'm going based off memory. We watched this recently, so I'm sorry if things are in and out of order, but as I said, it stars Joey Richter and his struggle throughout high school and being this nerdy kid who cries in the choir room all the time, which is a consistent mood. But him trying to win over the affections of this girl, Vanessa, who recently broke up with her boyfriend, who has been advised by her best friend to go for a rebound. And so Vanessa takes an interest into Joey just so... did she play it like she was, dating
Studying.
down or something?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. She was saying that she wanted to use him as a study partner, I think.
Yeah, but just to rebound.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And what happens is that he bumps into Sally on the way to school one day. And I don't know how this would work in actual physical life, but it causes Dick to meet Sally's
Genitalia.
Scooter,
Yes.
played by Devin Lytle. Lytle?
Lytle.
Is it Lytle?
It's Lytle.
Oh my god.
I believe it's Lytle. I think... I'm 95% sure it's Lytle.
I just hear Joe Moses' voice going, "Little Devin, little."
I'm sorry, Devin, we love you. But, yeah, so Dick meets Miss Scooter and falls in love with her, and she's beautiful and perfect and southern, and Joey's like, no, Vanessa, who has Flopsy, correct?
Flopsy,
Yes.
Played by Brian Holden.
Brian Holden in a pink flapper's dress.
Mm-hmm.
And tennis shoes.
Yeah. So they're in this fantasy world where if you're in close physical contact with someone, your genitalia and other body parts can just communicate with one another.
That's how science works.
Yes.
Take an anatomy class.
Clearly, everyone in Team StarKid was a bio major. But it puts this rift between Joey and Dick because Joey is just thinking about getting with Vanessa, who's what he believes is his dream girl, and Dick saying, no, like, I feel a connection with Miss Cooter. We need to give Sally a shot. And Joey being like, screw that, like, Sally's a salad. Just boring and our friend, and it's very, like, rom-com-y in that way where it's like you can clearly see where it's gonna go.
Yeah.
And then again, clearly bio majors wrote this where Dick and Joey separate because they finally have had enough of each other. So Joey spends most of Act 2 as a Ken doll, led only by his heart, played by AJ Holmes. And throughout this whole time, we also see Sally struggling with how in love she is with Joey and how he doesn't see her that way, and her, Miss Cooter, and her heart, played by Lily Marks, just trying to make him see that they were meant to be together. And gets a little crazy, like I said, vaginas flying and councils of penises because Dick gets led astray by Big T, played by Corey Doris. And
What was the other one? Little Pinky? Winky? Something small?
is it Weenie?
It's Weenie.
That was Ariel, right?
Yeah, it
Yes.
was Ariel.
Ariel. But yeah, so there's just apparently a land of lost penises, a land of lost dicks,
Yeah.
where they're just disembodied genitalia that have.
Disembodied.
That's what they are. It sounds
Ominous.
scary.
That's ominous.
I mean,
And they're looking for a person.
Yeah.
Most-
So
They're looking for a home.
Big T is trying to tell Dick, like, you don't want to go back to Joey because he didn't listen to you, blah, blah. You can go find your Miss Scooter on your own. But Big T was planning that so he could attach himself to Joey.
scheming Dick.
Yeah. What a dick.
What a dick move.
What a scheming tallywhacker.
Yeah. But that is the nutshell synopsis of Me and My Dick. Of course, it ends happily, where Joey realizes he was wrong and how he needs to be thinking with both his heart and his dick, which, you know, is a fair point to bring up. And he realizes that he should have been looking at Sally because sometimes the person you're meant to be with is the person you initially disliked.
Oh my god.
That was from the reunion. But what were you guys' thoughts when you first watched this?
I was so confused. So, Me and My Dick was the second thing I watched from StarKid. I watched Harry Potter musical, and then I jumped immediately into Me and My Dick, and I was very confused because I thought I had a grasp on who StarKid was, and I was wrong.
You're just like, I thought they made, like, dirty jokes in Harry Potter that were bad.
Parodies, yeah. I thought they were going to be a parody kind of, and it just didn't happen that way. And honestly, I ended up loving it. The humor, it is college humor, but there are some really, like, clever things, and I don't know, it roped me in.
When I watched it, I was incredibly uncomfortable. I watched it right after you guys had shown me a Harry Potter musical, and I don't know, that's not my humor. I was younger too, so it was just like a lot. I even now I get kind of like awkward around topics like that because that's just not me. I'm very
Reserved.
Yes, that's the perfect word for it. But as I got older, I can watch it and understand the significance of the storyline and how it's actually really important. It's covered by a lot of college humor and you know, I feel like it's a show that you should watch and really pay attention to the message, like you guys kind of told me in the beginning.
Celina?
Me and my dick. The first time I watched this, it was with Kaitlyn in her living room with one of our close friends, and I feel like I didn't like it in the beginning. Like a lot of StarKid things, I'm realizing now that I say that a lot, that I kind of didn't like a lot of stuff in the beginning. But I can't actually remember very well how I felt about Me and My Dick. It's one of those shows that it's just so dumb to me that it's amusing. So, like Kaitlyn was saying when she was giving the brief summary, like, it's just so, man, I can't even think of words for it. It's a lot to take in and to watch, but I feel like my opinions of it are very similar to like a combination of everyone else in this room. Like with Kylie, I can get how some of it is very just uncomfortable to hear people say, and but now I'm just older, in college humor, I get it, but I think when I saw it in middle school, I was like, dicks.
It's harder to get the storyline and the importance when you're just focused on the fact it's a bunch of
Yeah,
dicks.
I probably shouldn't have been watching it in middle school, let alone showing it to my friends.
Yeah.
Hey, let's watch this. But even my initial reaction to it was I watched a Harry Potter musical, and then I started this knowing, like, alright, it's supposed to be for the older StarKids. And I was immediately so confused, being like, why are Ron and Ginny together now? This is weird. Given I was like 14 and being like, you know, it's Joey and Jamie. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't see them outside of their Harry Potter things, and I was like, it was funny and it was amusing. But I really enjoyed some of the songs in there that would just stick with me. And it continued to, like, have me follow it, and I would always go back to Me and My Dick. But it wasn't until I was recently a young adult rewatching it that I noticed so many little tonal shifts and different things that I find brilliant now. Mm-hmm. I know it seems like opposite of Celina, where she's like, oh, I didn't really like it to begin with. I'm just like, oh, I loved this. But it's because I am crazy and me, and I watch and scrutinize every single thing. And, like, for example, how Joey switches when Dick leaves him and only Hart is in control, and how much more emotional he gets. And how before that, when Dick was sort of in control with Joey, just how hormonally based his decisions were, and how he needed that balance to make smarter decisions for himself, which I believe is something that as you grow up you should learn to make. Again, I'm in no position to be giving anyone advice whatsoever, but there should be a fine balance of listening to your heart and also recognizing the importance of attraction to another person. And yeah, it's just something I really liked, because I always say it with like a little kind of attitude, where I'm just like, the thing I love about Me and My Dick is that it has a lot of heart put into it. Yeah. So my first reaction was confusion. It wasn't dislike, it was I'll probably understand this when I'm older.
Definitely.
And then I did understand it better when I was older.
I remember telling you the first time I watched it, I was like, give me like 2 more years, dude.
Yeah, which also people mature at different rates too, where it's like, I'm ready for this, I'm not ready for this. Which is why I don't necessarily agree with, like, movie ratings. Where it's like, why are you telling me I have to be a certain age to watch this when maybe something I'm ready for at 16, someone who's 18 isn't ready for it. But yeah, it's all very individualized, and if you are someone who put on Me and My Dick and you are like, maybe this isn't for me, there's no shame in needing to turn it off. Nothing in, like, a StarKid fan handbook says you have to watch and love every single musical. And no one even says you have to go back to it when you're older and see if you like it.
You might just not like it.
It's okay. It's okay to not like things sometimes.
Thank you, guys. I really needed to hear that. I've noticed since the beginning, I'm the one who says, like, I didn't like it that much.
Yeah, but it's not like I don't like it because the musical's bad.
No.
It's just a simple thing as it's not for me. But yeah, so any of you guys have a favorite character or favorite song?
Oh, yeah.
These character names are pretty ridiculous.
Dick is... Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
You can-
I'm thinking. I didn't mean to think out loud. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
Okay,
Emma.
Dick is my favorite character. I love Dick.
I'm a boner.
Oh my gosh.
I think I keep saying this, but Joe Walker has this way of making me feel like bad or making me feel emotional for a character that I shouldn't feel emotion for.
He's a good actor.
And now a dick. And like he's a brilliant actor. There's like that one little part where he comes out and he's supposed to be erect. So he's all excited and he's just on his tippy toes, like jumping up and down. It's so funny to me. So Dick is my favorite. I think that his impulsive behavior is it's very fitting for what am I going to call it? A wayward penis? And
That's actually what Tin Can Brothers Wayward Guide is about.
Oh my god.
wayward penis. It's just a sequel to Dick.
Somebody confirm.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
Brian, Joey.
So Dick is my favorite character. I think Joe just plays him fantastic. And my favorite scene is where he detaches from Joey, because up until then it made sense. Like I could see where like thoughts and hormones like come into play and like are personalized into these conversations between
It's a chair,
Joey.
I'm sorry.
Remember, we're real people.
Between Joey and his dick, like there's like hormones that they just put into a conversation, you know. And then there's the part where he detaches from Joey and everything stops making sense. So my favorite scene is where Dick is free and he's walking down the street and he's just looking up and he waves at people and there's just voices shouting back and he's like, "Hi, how are you?" "Oh, Dick!" "Ew, gross!"
Don't you hear Darren's voice in that scene?
It is maybe my favorite part, and I'm
plays,
gonna swear, he just goes, "Fuck you! Fuck you! Wait, fuck you!" And he's just...
And like
Well, fuck
Dick is trying to like walk away
He
too,
does,
and he
he's
like,
like, "Wait, fuck you!" He's like, well, fuck you too.
There's another scene where I'm 99% sure it's Darren off camera because he was doing music for the show.
Right.
And he plays like this Italian restaurant worker. I'm not even going to try to do the accent, but you guys can look up
brilliant.
that scene. It's really funny.
So that's my favorite scene, and then my favorite song is completely different, and it's Even Though. I am like this sappy, I love rom-coms and like friends becoming like more thing. Like I just love that whole dynamic, and so that whole scene, it, like the sensitivity in Joey's voice when he sings it too at the very beginning, the way don't go.
Shit.
That's my favorite. I just think that the song is beautifully written. I think it's gorgeous. A very notable second would be Listen to Your Heart, because AJ is brilliant. So that's
so she won't get away.
You'll let her get away. All right.
Oh, okay. Well, my favorite character is Brian Holden's Flopsy, purely because of the voice. That voice, and I'm sure if you guys have listened to anything of theirs on Spotify, you heard Liam's Got a Phone Call. It's the same voice. It's that shrill, like, kind of raspy,
lispy.
Yeah.
Can you do that voice?
I don't want to try. I don't want to.
She's like, I don't want recorded evidence.
Exactly. I also really, really like Sally's heart because I probably relate to her the most. My favorite scene is when Sally, you know, she gets kind of rejected by Joey by accident because, you know, his dick is gone, and she's like, she feels like the reason they're not doing anything is because Joey doesn't want her, but in reality he's a Ken doll. So she goes and cries and eats ice cream, and her heart is telling her, I didn't tell you to stop eating. Eat until you're as fat as you are ugly. And then she just cries and she's like, that'll take forever. And I think that scene is so funny and so relatable because me. And then my favorite song is probably just the opener because I think it's so catchy and upbeat, and you can take it completely out of context and have it still be fun.
Ready to go?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's fun. I think it's like a good, I don't know. I think it's a fun song to like get ready to.
It's too long for me.
It is really long, but I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Celina?
Oh, okay. Well, it was going off the songs because we were just talking about Ready to Go. I love Ready to Go, but it is so long that I think the other day we were listening to like StarKid in the car and Ready to Go came on, and it was like 5 minutes in and I was like, oh my god.
We're not even at Vanessa's part yet.
Like, this song is so long, but yeah, it's a good get ready song. Like, I can play that and I can time my shower perfectly to that song because I'm like, okay, that's a good amount of time. Mm-hmm. But my favorite song is Even Though, because just like Emma, I'm kind of a sap at heart. But I'm not going to go too much into that because why? Favorite character is also Flopsy. Flopsy, Brian just did a great job of being hilarious, but also like Flopsy's character was supposed to have been around the block. Like,
just
Flopsy,
tired.
Yeah, Flopsy was tired. Flopsy knew what was gonna happen, but was also super understanding of what Dick wanted. And I really liked that, and I think Brian is just hilarious, and I'm kind of mad that he looked so good in that dress, because I know I wouldn't be able to pull off a dress like that.
That little flapper dress?
Yeah, like, it just doesn't work for me, but like his lankiness at that time, it looked great in a flapper dress with that little black wig and the feather boa. Oh my gosh. What else was there? It was favorite song, favorite character. Favorite scene was a super short scene. It was just actually one line. It was when Sally comes in all like freaked out and I was like, I want a Caribbean study with you. Because I feel like if I were Sally and trying to be that brave, I would have done the exact same thing, just blurt out something that didn't really make sense. But yeah, that's my favorite scene. Watching frazzled Jamie kind of be like,
yes,
hold on, this is what I want. Kaitlyn, what about you?
Like I said, I really like this entire musical. My favorite character has to be Sally. Just because, like, what young girl did not relate to those types of emotions? My favorite song might also have to be Even Though. Darren did really good with that song. Mm-hmm. And it was just so, like, cute and romantic, and yeah, it was really cute. favorite scene probably has to be Sally's entire confession, where Joey's crying in the choir room. And it's just those where he's telling her like it just shows how blind he was, because he's just like, when you love somebody so much, they have to love you back just a little bit, right? And then Sally's like, you know what, like, you're not being fair. Like, I have done nothing but show love to you, and you don't even look at me. And just that, like, love confession was just so cute, and like, everything like I would want from a rom-com. And the fact that Joey has this like moment of realization of being like, you know what, you're kind of right, like, I didn't see what was right in front of my face. And yeah, I would like that a lot. So I did favorite scene, favorite character, favorite number. I also really like Joey's heart.
Yeah,
I love
really
just
love
how
AJ.
insane AJ is in that role.
That line is actually maybe another one of my favorite scenes, where it's like, you could screw it up, or I screwed it up last time, I could very well screw it up this time. Like, that feels like my heart. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like,
Because sometimes you're gonna get it wrong.
right. I was also thinking, while Celina was talking about her favorite character, I was just thinking about the dynamic between Flopsy and Old Snatch.
Yeah.
And I love the way Nick Strauss plays Old Snatch. I think that
Just this like old sage character that like,
yes. And
even though he's connected to like a 16-year-old girl.
right. I like the dynamic where it's like Miss Cooter is this really sweet, innocent, young, like never been touched kind of thing.
Fresh.
And then Flopsy isn't necessarily old and haggard yet. She's just needs a vacation. She just needs a break. Like, Vanessa just broke up with her boyfriend. She just got a break. And Flopsy just wants a little bit of time. She's like, just give me a little bit. And Old Snatch has been around so long for a 16-year-old girl that he's just like completely had it. He's just done. And then he ends up having like this cute romantic story with Big T.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And
Do they go to Paris?
they went to
Yeah.
Paris.
Yeah.
Just Big T and Old Snatch just living their romantic dream.
Yes.
But sorry to like jump in, but I started thinking about, because Old Snatch like left and went on that little romance trip with Big T. Just think about what happens to Weenie in the end.
Oh.
I love Old Snatch. I like when he's like, Tiff, I love you, but you are dumb as shit.
Old Snatch is really maybe my second favorite character, because it's just
It is such a good
Yeah.
character.
sage, like, really still has the vagina has a heart. Like, still has a good heart, like, wants to help
Yeah.
Miss Cooter. But it's just this jaded,
I've seen
done
it.
moment. Yeah.
Like, I've seen the world.
Yeah, and that's something I really like about this musical, is their takes on the characterization of body parts. Where, all the genitalia are focused on one specific thing. And how when the hearts get broken, they're acting so irrational, where,
It's the end of the world.
yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like when you have a broken heart, it feels like, you're telling yourself, oh, you're fat and you're ugly and this is all your fault. Which is how Sally's heart reacted.
Joey's heart
And
was
then
like, we're
Joey's
gonna
heart was like,
die.
all right, we're gonna die. I'm gonna give us a heart attack. And then just
So dramatic.
and that's how your emotions can sometimes feel when you're that young.
And when you're only listening to one.
Yeah.
Imagine if they had a brain character.
That'd be really interesting.
Sequel. Kickstarter.
Oh my gosh.
Me and my brain? Question mark.
It's just 2 straight hours of the Wii menu music.
With the Avatar you dancing.
But yeah, there's just so many good things and like so many funny little one-liners that I appreciate from Me and My Dick. Like after the flight of the pussies,
Yes.
and Miss Cooter comes back into the room, and Sally's waking up, and she's like, Miss Cooter, did you just fly in through the window? And she's just like, no, shut up, you didn't see anything, go back to bed.
And that's what I was thinking the entire time I was watching that, the entire song, that every night at the stroke of 3, I'm like, does this mean?
So in this universe, if someone were to wake up at 3 a.m.
What if they're still awake at 3 a.m.?
There's nothing, it's leaving.
Every night at the stroke of 3, it's a very strict time construct.
Oh boy.
But yeah.
I need to lock my windows.
One thing I appreciate, and like, one thing I continuously say now is, I personally think Me and My Dick, if it were created now, would be a lot better received
Yeah.
than in 2009. I always joke, like, Me and My Dick walked so Big Mouth could run.
Yes.
And
It has the same vibe.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and that just shows how, like, what is it? I guess brave that StarKid was.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like how progressive and how much they wanted to push the envelopes at Basement Arts and with what they created, and how on the surface it just seemed like this like 2-hour long dick joke.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see more, which is what you kind of get from TV shows like Big Mouth, which I won't spoil, but there's that emotion beyond the surface.
The lesson to be learned.
Yes.
Imagine if that wasn't actually what they were thinking. Imagine if that entire time they were writing it, they were like,
Oops.
dick joke.
They're like, oh man, we made this educational. But yeah, there's just a lot of good things about it where if it's something that you think you can watch, I really suggest giving it a chance. And if you've already seen it, hopefully your eyes are open to something a little bit different from listening to us, because we've had time to carefully scrutinize everything about the musicals.
Coming from someone who is more reserved, and this kind of stuff does make me uncomfortable, when I was able to watch it alone, and like, because that's what I did with Big Mouth too. I watched it alone, and I really took in what they were trying to say instead of just focused on like the surface level content. So if you're like me, feel free to like sit down and watch it alone and have your own experience with it, and not give into I don't know, not peer pressure, but yeah, peer pressure to be like, this is great because haha dicks. Like, no.
Yeah.
have your opinions.
And if your reaction is, this is great because haha dicks, that's perfectly
Yeah.
cool
Go
as
off,
well.
yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that this is one of those shows where if you are like me or Kaitlyn or even Celina, and you started StarKid a while back, towards the beginning, then I don't know why I said even Celina. You started way at the beginning too.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
I forget sometimes too.
Then that was one of those shows that you watched early on, probably, and it might have been something that you weren't, necessarily into at first because you were like, I just want more Harry Potter.
I don't want to see Ron and Ginny together.
Why is Voldemort Ron's dick? So I would recommend going back, watching it again, kind of picking up on those little undertones. Now, especially that we know the actors and the cast and the writers, and that we're more familiar with them. I would fully recommend going back, watching this, and all of their other shows that you maybe haven't watched in a while or didn't like the first time around. Yeah. But if you don't like it, it's completely okay.
You must like everything or you're a fake fan.
Fake fan.
I feel like Emma just described me and how I take everything with StarKid, how it's like, if you didn't like it in the beginning, try again. See if you like it.
Maybe the musical you disliked
Oh my god.
turned out to be the one that was meant for you, or something like that.
No, but I think Emma makes a really good point. Like, it's just one of...
I do?
Yeah. I agree with everything Emma just said.
Christmas miracle.
And, I don't know. I think Emma made a good point, and also adding to that, like, if you still decide that it's just not you, like, you can't even sit there and watch it, like, you don't like it, you can't watch it,
don't.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
don't.
That goes for any content that is out there.
Yeah.
Any of it.
And,
Anything in the world.
Yeah, and though we do love things like StarKid and we want them to get the views and everything, we also don't condone blind worship
Yeah,
about
no.
everything either. And
It's okay to have criticism. That's how people grow.
yeah. And they have grown from what they've started in college.
Mm-hmm.
But any other closing thoughts before we end this?
I love Nick Strauss.
Same.
Amen.
Yeah.
Like a gospel song.
Like a gospel song.
But yeah, so whether you've watched the musical or not, let us know what your thoughts were. And until then, we don't want to see you go, but it's not forever. And we will see you next Saturday.
Bye.